Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, here to share some fellowship, some time, some encouragement, some inspirations. Boy, I could have fixed the hair before I started, but hey, welcome to all of you who are here in the chat, in the background, maybe tuning in later or joining as we go. I started a few minutes early. So you know what? Sincerely, Sterling, I've seen some of you in the comments, and I think we resonate. If I'm remembering right, I think I really appreciate some of the things I've seen from you, and not just from you, but from many people in this experience. Man, there are some great people in this world. And I'm suspecting the people who found me, who are part of this, while reluctant, maybe you're learning that there's something special about you, right? Because we're all on this amazing path of development together as one time in history. I mean, how magnificent is that? In most of my life, trying to obey the world, I never had time to stop and think. But praise God, I've had plenty of time to stop and think the past few years, and to really learn to go within, to try and understand what is it that moves us people. How in the hell did this world get so dysfunctional, diseased, so toxic? How did this world get to this place? So all I really honestly had to examine was myself. I had a lot of time alone to study myself in this life. At first, I didn't like what I discovered about myself. We've been through those stories about my drinking and stuff. But this was the thought I had today. We learn who we are through each other, right? But each other doesn't define us. The opinions and the results, the exterior conditions, those things don't define us unless we choose. Unless we choose to allow the opinions, the labels, the diagnosis, the whatever. When we choose to allow those to define us, that's the real reality we're going to live. I've lived that. I encourage you. Define yourself loosely, right? Gain clarity in what it is you value. Being you. And I encourage you to actually stop and think. Recognize being you is important, right? By your being, you're alive. And if you're alive, you matter. There's others who care about you. There's others, maybe distant. Maybe they're from the past, haven't been in touch for a while, but every one of us really does make a difference. We influence each other. How much and, to what extent, it varies. But everything about this life it's just variations and subtleties, distinctions. But most of the differences between people, they really don't matter. They really don't matter. I've shared wonderful conversations with people who identify as a variety of different faiths, different beliefs, different voting practices, different, I can get along with different people. Different people are actually just the same. Even when you don't speak the same language. That was something I never, in the past, In the past, my abilities to learn different languages was not very strong. I had opportunities to learn and I managed my way, but why did I get onto language? There's a connection between all of us beings, all of us humans. There's a connection between all of us. The worldly ways, the world we were born into, there's no time for different things. Time is really, truly the gift. Time is this gift we are sharing, right? I was thinking about this. It's more clearly in my mind, not just my mind, but in my knowing each day. When I awaken and I see the light from the sun, I sleep in sometimes, quite often these days. But when I awaken and there's the light from the sun, I know that the world has been offered to me again today. This world has been offered to all of us. By the grace of God, we live today. We share time with each other at this time in history. But we were born into a world where everyone's like, no, I own this. No, I own that. No, you can't do that. You're not free to do that. You can only do this if you do that and this and that and this. And then everyone's like fucking trying to remember rules and they're all confused and afraid they're going to get something wrong. And am I just speaking about myself? Hey, whoops. Excuse me. Please, brothers and sisters, all are welcome to join. Particularly those who are abundant with the kind and loving energy. Those are my most favorite. Those are the most fun people to hang out with. The ones who are kind and loving, right? Got a sense of humor. And that's the best. But growing patience, that was the thumbnail, right? Patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting. And you know what? Let me not be neglectful. There's more of you guys showing up, guys and gals. Ragamuffin, good to see you, brother. And what's up, Cynthia? You are a light of encouragement, as is Provo. Man, see, I'm so blessed. I feel blessed to share this experience with folks like you guys. I hope you're enjoying your experience as well, man. I don't know if I saw. Yeah. Machine Lies, all sorts of rock stars out here, man. Undiscovered talent, unrealized talent and potential. It's not just those who are in the chat. It is many, many of us are starting to realize I can do better. There's better ways. There's different ways. There are unknown possibilities. There's more of us waking up to that. And that's why I am filled with faith. And here's what I learned, right? All this time alone without purpose. But no, the purposes I had chosen for myself in the past, right? We go through our lives discovering ourselves, right? This was something I thought about earlier today. When we're born into this world, we're innocent, pure. We were like coming out, and it's like, whoa, what the hell happened? This is scary. And then, screaming, and then we become part of the experience, and we grow our attachments, our bonds as infants, mom, dad, whatever. We find our connection. And then through the education and growth, our development, we start learning, oh, I'm a self. That's where we start learning our bladder control and, toilet training, stuff like that, recognition of a self, a being. But then as we start developing the ways of the world, so they say, the common society between the news, entertainment, schools, religions, all of this stuff, it started giving us all these labels. Right? Because actually, first, we come into this world and then someone says, this is your gender, this is your name, perhaps this is your religion, this is your language. we're taught all of that stuff. And then we believe that is me. That is me. And I can't be different than me. Until you realize most of what you think you might be is actually just a thought in your head. It's kind of imagined. What really matters is what we do, what we say, what we think. Those things are going to be guided by how we feel. How you feel matters. Okay? Many of us, men and women, are taught to suppress our feelings, to deny that this doesn't feel right. And when we deny our feelings, guys, that's our guidance system. It's up to us to understand. We shouldn't let our feelings control us, but it's another source of information, just like anybody else is a source of information. But as we grow and as we mature, part of that development organically is for each of us to develop self-control. It's just part of nature. It's fucking brilliant how God has designed everything. It just seriously, it blows my mind how magnificent. Life is a miracle. It's like how there's a lot of stuff we take for granted on how things work and what things mean. Holy cows. Here, what matters is how you feel. And one of the best ways to feel is at peace. It is an option, and there's levels to the peace you can feel. There are levels to the surrender that's available within your being. The reason I bring this up is we live in a world where there's a lot of anxious people suffering from confusion, from patterns of thought that are probably keeping them awake at night, maybe, keeping them from enjoying what life has to offer. I used to experience that, man. It's illogical when you get out of it. So I just had a thought, right? Because I just chuckled there. You don't know why I'm laughing. And I noticed in chat, people use that as evidence that I'm insane because I laugh a lot. Praise God. Life is funny. It's a miracle, and it's fascinating. It's fabulous, and it can drive you nuts. And I am not denying the pain that painful thoughts can bring. That shit is real. I found ways to laugh at my foolishness, how illogical I used to be. And I imagine, God in the heaven is looking at us. It's like, you guys are safe. You're under my control. I don't know what you're worried about. Also don't know why you keep choosing to defy my laws. But whatever, guys, I'll allow creation to keep going. I don't know. I imagine God a lot. I try to imagine what God's perspective might be, try to understand what it all means. And this is what I accepted for myself. Accept this, read, believe whatever you want. I believe God is up to, don't take this wrong either, please. But for our personal relationship, we have free will. We can take the evidence we want, include the evidence we want, bring that into consideration, and you can spend time imagining the God that you want to believe in. You can do that. So I spent time imagining a loving God, like a God who is just fucking abundant with love, in which the universe was created just as an example of the magnificence of its love, formed into different expressions to be explored, learned about, appreciated. And that's where you guys came from. For me, oh, knowledge is a commercial. Fuck. I love how deep the waters of your mind travel. Machine Lies, man, and Ragamuffin. Both of you guys. I've had some great conversations with you guys. If you're free and technology is serving, cooperating, all are welcome to join, man. Don't judge me. I love you too, man. I've seen you in the chat. And you know what? This is the thing. When I start identifying and I get into this guilt trip of, oh crap, who are you going to overlook? Who are you going to not acknowledge? So, I was, yeah. Sterling. Here, the Mr. Proper Instruction Motivates People. For those who are following along, I participated in a couple of different panels yesterday, I believe, and today, I think. I know, because this one in particular. Anyway, there was advice given to me by some of the other creators here on YouTube in these communities. I was advised to just separate myself from some of the arrogance and the chaos that I found myself a part of. I've received that advice from a lot of people. I've been a stubborn guy most of my life, and sometimes naive, sometimes too trusting. But yeah, I visited the Proper Instruction Motivates People platform briefly. I clicked the link, thought I was in the back, and then it was disconnected. It was back to the StreamYard home stream. I was like, I wonder if I just got kicked. So I went back and prepared to offer peace and explanations. I mean, I stand behind the words that I said. On the other panels, I suggested that, we all know people whose behavior is not healthy for themselves. And, it's maybe harmful to others, or it's not healthy. It's not helpful for others. There's a lot of people like that. Whether it's Mr. Paul Enslaved, who's found an echo chamber, created an echo chamber of a lot of good people, good-hearted people as well. But there was a reason I started going into that. I actually think it's, we're all learning how to live together. I believe that there is a divine intelligence and creator that brings forth each day through us. That divine creator has perfect control, perfect order, perfect plans. And I think probably a perfect sense of humor too. It makes sense to me, follows logic and reasoning. Oh, I started talking about the God of love. Because the thoughts of the God of love this morning brought me to tears. It moved me to tears. The truth is moving, right? The truth moves us and love moves us, but our interpretations must be honest and, you know, must be true. Anyway, the God of love, I believe that's the one that Jesus demonstrated. That was, you know, the God of love was prophesized that this would happen, that he would be, and he was. And through his words and his deeds, his service, the example that Yeshua, Jesus, the teacher, offered was that of love. And so, what is love, man? Jesse, perfect time. Another man who knows love.
What's up, brother?
Thank you. I'm remembering your birthday was yesterday. I tuned in for most of the stream, but not all, admittedly. I'm going to go back and catch up a little bit more. But I think I've heard many of your stories, but not as much as probably yesterday, I'm sure.
I went off.
Good way?
Yeah, I went off. I just had a lot of blah. I had to, like, Angeline said, you were ready for that.
You were flowing, my brother. Yes. But hey, welcome. Absolute blessings. All of you guys who are tuning in, and we'll get to it later. Machine Lies. I know today's Friday, I believe, right? Yeah.
Friday. Steve's lives too.
Yeah. He'll do his thing later. The God of love. And that's what I truly believe that Jesus was trying to communicate. Not trying, was communicating for us. So what is love? Love is this mysterious power. It's like it's undefinable yet unmistakable, yet sometimes unrecognizable. It's mysterious and all things. I believe it's spontaneous as well, right? Love is fulfilling. Love is joyful. Love is patient. All the things the scripture talks about. But I think, you bring infinite wisdom and infinite love together. You're going to have spontaneity, surprises, little mystery involved. And that is what we are living. We are living that combination of wisdom and love expressed through nature. Golly geez, it's amazing, isn't it? So what the hell is going on with the other people? How do we help them increase their acceptance, their inner standing, their inner knowing of what we've learned?
Well, love is one of those forces that they can't, destroy. They can't control. right? So they're doing everything in their power to divide people from it, from themselves, from each other, because that's one of these forces that they just can't stop. And that is the problem. And, you know, people are resilient. People, thank you, people are resilient. People have this, you know, love inside of them, and they try to convince people that, you know, they're not worthy, that they're not allowed to, that they're insignificant. And that's kind of the theme of mind control, of government, religion. That's mind control, right? Everybody has, you know, the freedom, and they're worthy to have a direct connection with source, creator, God, love. You know, it's all that vibration that binds us all together. And that's what they don't like. That's what they want to stop in any way they can. And they can only do that by people choosing to stop it themselves.
Hell, and many people have. People have become afraid of exposing themselves as vulnerable, right? Thing is, hurt people hurt people. And Chuck, yeah, I started talking about that, even against recent advice from individuals I truly do admire, even against their advice. I went to Paul's stream. First, he kicked me, and then when he brought me up, he very clearly told me I was not welcome and asked me to leave and not return. So I'm a man who abides by the wishes of others as well as I can. Well, as well as I choose, I guess. But I usually choose to honor people's wishes. So bye, Paulie. He's welcome here to join, and we'll discuss his behavior like adults. But yeah.
How long do you think the breakup will be this time?
I don't know, man. Well, I'm committed to, well, golly gee. Let me not make commitments on the future, because actually this was something I was observing earlier. We'll change the topic from him.
I like that.
Actually, and perfect segue. Welcome, Machine Lies. Good to see you, my brother.
Hey, how's it going?
Every day's a new day, man.
Yeah, I was challenged by my wife to come and join the panel, so I had to come and join because I listen to her more than myself. Apparently, but yeah,
brother, I thank her for her encouragement, and I welcome you. Of course.
Of course, she believes in you too, Jack. You know, I know she wrote that down there, and I remember when we were watching your show. You know, and you had the little the feuds with Paul Enslaved. You know, and one day she herself had a bad interaction with Paul Enslaved. so we were having an argument with Paul Enslaved one day between me and my wife and Paul Enslaved. Unfortunately, yeah.
Is that your wife there, Virgo Moon?
Yeah. That's my wife there. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Blessings. Thank you for joining. And actually, assuming it doesn't cause difficulties, you're welcome to join the panel as well. I've actually observed this. I think you've stumbled through it. I think people have here. I'm amazed at how much relationship advice is offered from that man who's filled with such toxicity and distrust. It's like, holy cows, man. I mean, his advice to Lou and is not to gossip.
Yeah, let's change the subject, man.
Yes. Thank you. Hey, go ahead.
Good call, Jesse.
Here, we'll come back to the title. Some notes I made from earlier. Growing in patience. I think patience is a gift. You know, it's a lesson we learn through lifetimes, perhaps. How much patience is enough? Can we find patience at all? Some people, every one of us have our different things, but patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting. And so the things go ahead.
I like that. I was just going to say,
Oh,
and I was going to ask, what does patience as a virtue mean to the both of you?
it is a gift to be shared with honor. Oh, that's a spontaneous interpretation of virtue. That which can be shared with honor. Interesting.
Yeah,
Welcome.
I think honor and love are really the bridge to virtue itself. You know, because I think honor and love. You know, I think love with love mixed with honor, a sense of honor and duty is really where virtue comes to shine. You know, because virtue is all about sacrifice. You know, and that leads back to patience because if you don't have patience, you can't make that sacrifice for love, you know, at all, you know.
It's definitely
Here.
not going to flow very well.
Amen. Here, I'm promoting myself on on the other social media here, right? I haven't said that clearly, but that is what I'm doing. Obviously, is it not coming up? Oh, I got to do that. Sorry, rookie. I'm figuring it out. Thank you for your patience. It doesn't come up very clear anyway. Here, patience. The signs when we've lost patience. It's when we're feeling frustrated, when we're feeling anxious. And here's the sneaky one, when we're feeling bored. Boredom is a symptom of a lack of patience. It means that I've learned enough and I'm complete and I don't need anything more. And that's not true. So the key to patience that I have found, number one, it's acceptance. Right.
And I think I mean I think it goes along with another quote I heard. It said wisdom begins with wonder. You know, that's from the Theaetetus of Plato. You know, like if you don't have no sense of amazement, you know, you're right, you're constantly bored. You know, you think you know it all, you know, you've seen it all, you know, or you think you have, you know, and that leads to a lack of awe, you know, you know, a lack of curiosity, really, you know.
Losing that inner child, you know, thinking that you're better than that. And when you have that inner child still inside of you, then things are in awe. You can appreciate things and you don't get, you know, bored in, you know, stuck in the same vibration.
Amen. What I was thinking earlier, well, boredom also, people, the consequence of boredom, which is what I think many people are suffering from, this, they don't know what to do. So they keep repeating the same patterns and they become bored with life. That's where I was at, admittedly. To escape my boredom, I found pleasure in drinking. I'd lose myself in these stupid TV shows and entertainment crap. And then it was addicted to the crap on the phone, the stupid social media games. And it's a sickness, man. The sickness I suffered, that we suffer, is our arrogance. It's what the world it's the world conditioning. So welcome, Ragamuffin. Good to see you, brother.
Blessings and happy Friday to everybody.
Amen.
I just wanted to say, Jack, I just quickly came to say hi. I got to eat. I just had an interview with a guy who was on the South Pole in Antarctica for a year on a station, I guess, a research facility that he his directed energy weapon. It was fascinating. He spent a year out there. I got another interview coming up in a couple hours, I think in 2.5 hours from now, from a journalist out of Australia. So I just came to say hi. I'm going to eat some food and listen in, and much love to y'all.
Bless you. Thank you for stopping in, Jesse. And you got I know you love being you. Thank you for sharing you with us. We'll catch up later.
Bye, everyone.
Welcome, Ragamuffin. And panel, feel free. I'm feeling chill right now, very patient.
If I can elaborate a little bit, Jack, if you don't mind.
Please.
Boredom, usually the indication of boredom is sadness. So a lot of us are actually sad, unaware. When it comes to patience, I guess the question would be, who's the one that's supposed to be patient, others or with oneself? And is it growing or should be developing? When a person feels triggered, that's a great opportunity to learn patience. That trigger can come in many forms. Usually it doesn't always come because somebody says something that hurts you. It could usually be something when somebody says pleasantries to you. Person quickly triggers, oh, thank you, opposed to you should be the gatekeeper in all incidents. So in this case, it would be one's pleasures is one should actually be patient and say, okay, so does it really call for me to be patient in this and being aware? Because if I do, then I have to give the other end too also. Anyway.
My apologies. I was following until just at the end. I allowed the chat to
distract you?
Yes, I allowed the chat to distract me. I'm sorry.
No, apologize. I'm pretty sure it's recorded.
Amen. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to just do this as well, just because of the chaos that's surrounding me. Okay, patience. The patience, not just from ourselves, but from others versus there was, I think you here. Thank you. It was wisdom, and it is available for me to go back to. This life, I have been learning different levels, expanded definitions of what surrender means, what patience means, what faith means. And I tell you what, brothers and sisters, with those three things, with surrender and faith and patience, guess what then I learned? I learned greater levels of gratitude, forgiveness, and joy, of freedom. I was thinking this simple thought earlier, okay? I mentioned in this stream spending time trying to consider from God's perspective of us. God's laws of creation, they're written for us. So this is where I was at earlier with imagining the God of love. I love serving that God. I love trying to serve the world that the loving Creator has offered me to share with others. So how do we grow in ourselves when we've been taught not to trust ourselves? Oh, I'm totally changed the subject. We were on boredom and the signs for that, or overcoming it. Actually, the answer has already been shared. You said it, Machine Lies. Awe. How do you find awe? Through wonder, through gratitude, through exploration, discovery, with the mind of a child. That's how we're supposed to live. We're supposed to live with the mind of a child, open, open to receiving, but with the wisdom of the serpent that we've developed through our survival. We're here to overcome that which was. That's what I've learned, because that's what growth is. It only makes sense. Dominic also mentioned the patience of others. This is something I know I'm bouncing around on topics here, but regarding self-development and developing the self-control as an adult, right? So we're not just jumping into battle and chaos or lust or whatever. When we develop our self-control, it requires self-awareness. We've got to be aware of ourselves with others. So we have to have an awareness and a care about the experience of others, not only ourself. And that brings up that other topic I dealt with earlier. The people that want to be combative and don't want to accept us. I don't know, man. Life is interesting. Feel free. It's Friday afternoon, man. Hey, one thing though, I'll say this. Machine Lies, you put in some marathons, some long-term streams. God bless you for your patience that I've witnessed, I've admired, and I do try to grow in mine through that, but I don't plan on running that long. We're here for a good bit.
Well, you guys are also much older, so I appreciate that. You guys need your naps, so I know with my dad and stuff, he's got to go to sleep at a regular time, and after an hour-long conversation, he's done with it. I even know that with my mentor, Dr. 𝕍𝕚𝕚, he can only talk to me for about an hour and then he's got to go. Yeah,
I already got my power nap in. Mom, I already got my power nap in.
Yeah,
Oh, praise God!
But it's
You
definitely
guys,
the youth, the youth thing. I'm trying to burn that the candle at both ends in my youth. And I am getting gray hairs early, but it is what it is. I try to sacrifice for my art there, especially because people don't always have an opportunity to talk to me, and that's another thing about love and sacrifice is that is establishing trust. And just I think trust is a huge part of loyalty and honor. And I think in a way love doesn't need those things, but it just works better with them, and they're inextricably linked to love. I think just knowing that you have a sense of trust and loyalty. And I think that loyalty is really one thing that mixes with honor and love that's very fierce. Loyalty can be towards your country, it could be towards a entity, it doesn't necessarily have to be towards a person. We think of love as personal, but it's really much greater than that. As I think even hate is a part of love in a certain extent,
Yes,
extent that I say, hate is not the opposite of love, but the opposite of love is indifference. And definitely indifference has to do with boredom, because it's like boredom is just like indifference manifest. It's like
What if, can you see boredom as arrogance?
Yes. And then love as humility, really, in a
Yes.
sense,
Yes. Sorry, I'm sorry, but yes, love requires humility. It's part of its nature because it is self-sacrificing. It is placing ourselves above, or placing another above ourselves as importance. We're creating a vulnerability. Love is a powerful force, not to be ignored, but to be rejoiced in. And that's why I say I worship the God of love. I truly believe that is the Father that was spoken of through Yeshua, is the God of love. Love is eternal. It is beyond time. Space is no issue. Welcome, Smith. Good to see you too, brother.
I just jumped on. I thought that was interesting. You said love requires humility. That's why I've humiliated myself for months. That makes sense?
Of
It's
course.
hilarious. So if you want to tell the truth, you got to make them laugh. Otherwise, they'll kill you. Has anyone heard that? It's a George Carlin quote.
Yeah.
Who's the they that are going to kill you? It's they.
Ourselves.
They live.
Yeah.
They are
Well,
Satan. They are the government, which is
Smith.
run by Satan, which is the Shrine of Satan statue atop of the Capitol building, Persephone. You know what I mean?
You are loved, my brother. You really are. But I trust one day, my friend, you're going to look back at some of these streams after, and you're going to laugh at yourself. You're going to laugh at the humility that God allowed you to show, because you're right. Some of the things we do when we're in emotional states, when we're detached from feelings of love and fulfillment, God will allow us to present ourselves in humble, humiliating ways.
Which is what I've done. And I almost feel like
I know.
I try to be as humiliating to myself as possible because I don't matter. I don't matter. I'm shit. And I always want people to know that I'm shit. It's not about me. And do I ever go and personally attack Machine Lies and I say, Machine, you and your, like, I don't do that. I don't care about what his personal life is. I don't care what anybody's I don't do that. That's not me. I go on ideology of things. That's the person I am. So, am I the best representation of any? No, I'm not.
Smith, a thought for you to consider, please. If you didn't matter, would God allow you to be?
He would. Everyone's life's important. So God's wrote the beginning from at the end from the beginning. Did he plan on Charles Manson murdering as many people? He obviously did.
Well, Smith,
sounds like a stick plan. It's God's plan.
Yes, let's bring this back to you and include you.
I hope you're a good interviewer, Missing Link, because I fucking am scatterbrained. I'm nervous to email you because I don't have my shit put together. And to be honest, if I email you, I won't put my shit together. But if you're a good interviewer, I got a beautiful mind.
I guess, Jack, if I can share for a second there.
Please do.
I get it when we're talking when we're in these forums, but the God that I'm going to speculate to a certain point, should we be concerned or not concerned if the God is actually going to, the energy, hurricanes, tornadoes, lightning, love is kind of, in my interpretation, unconditional. So we can have patience to observe it and realize we might interfere with that. When we do, we usually actually put everything out of chi. So now there could be certain type of God, or considering God includes all, and says I'm even concerned about the human race, but we also put ourselves in harm's way. If we want to live or build a house near a place where the water goes really high in certain times of the year, we've done that to ourselves. So we just think that God is not loving. No, he is. He puts everything in place, or whatever I want to call it. So the patient would come to realize when other people are struggling and they're having anger, which could be another form of love because it's unconditional. It's the patient for us to say, who are us to change them? Would we, showing kindness, want to be changed? If somebody says, I don't agree with that, I said, well, you can agree or disagree with whatever you want.
That's the approach I'm trying to take, and I'm just with your on-screen comment. I'm not fucking grandstanding forever. Special K is a good fucking person. She's basically like the generic representation of the people of this community. And I told you a month ago, I'm not your channel producer. I'm not whatever. That's your niche, Jack. I'm shit.
Well, okay, Smith, and I'm grateful. I kind of wanted to bring it back to you where we were. Okay. Your patterns, my friend. You're presenting God brought us together. You're in the perfect place. All of us are in the perfect place right now. To believe we were not where we were supposed to be is to cause the self unnecessary anxiety and fear and concern. So first off, trust. Right now, you're perfectly where you're supposed to be, perfectly how you're supposed to be. Okay?
I'm supposed to be a half a fifth down in 45 minutes. I don't know. Half gallon. Half a half gallon. This is what I did last weekend. I'm done with it.
Well, done with it. Smith, please, can you commit yourself to those words? Because just because you've gotten that first half down doesn't mean it has to continue. And I encourage you to break the pattern.
I can't explain how last night felt. I went on a 1,000 subscriber stream special. I'm not going to name the people. I went on there. They're low key, innuendo, talking about doxing me. I don't fucking care. Then do it, bitches. Then fucking dox me.
Smith, come back to here and now.
I'm here and now, and this is why I'm here and now.
Okay, brother.
One of your main people, and I'm not saying names, talk about doxing me.
Hey, brother. Cool. Hey, brother. Here we go. For things to change, each of us must accept responsibility for our state of being. Okay, no more blame.
I drank a half a fifth. Here I am.
Well, I'm hearing blame. I've heard blame in you and many others. I used to hear blame out of myself a lot.
Jack, did you have addiction? Be my life coach right now. Show your skills. So this would be a good presentation for yourself. Here I am. Be a life coach to me. You had addiction problems? Be a life coach. Don't backstage me. Don't get frustrated. Don't roll your eyes. Don't look off into the distance. Be my friend. Don't walk behind me. I might not lead. Don't walk in front of me. I might not follow. Walk beside me, Jack, and be my friend.
Can you believe that I would? Can you believe that I will?
That was fucking golden.
As long as you can believe that I can, I will. All right? But I'm asking you, please pay attention and don't make it difficult for me to stand with you, to hold space for you, okay? Because I accept you and I allow you to be who you are, however you want. But I do care.
So I'm not trying to be rude. What happened the last time you came up on your panel? I've been a member of your channel about 5 months. What happened the last time? I rarely go on your panel. If people want to go back and rewind, I've maybe been on 8 times. I bet less than that. I bet about 7. What happened the last time? You backstaged me. You asked me if I needed a hug. You all made fun of me. You texted me the next day and said, "Can I buy you lunch to make it up for you?" That doesn't make it up. Are you trying to publicly humiliate me? It's not about me. It's about
Hey,
the message.
Smith, hold
It's
on.
the message.
Hold on. All right, Smith, interrupt, please. Come back to now. You're getting worked up about what you saw in the past, but please understand my side of your experience. I've offered my number, I've offered my time, I've offered the same offer you heard recently. I've offered many times in the past to be ignored, to be just no gratitude, no
Okay,
respect
don't put it like that,
whatsoever.
Jack, though.
I'm
I
about
want
to
it to be
move
a
on from you,
respectful.
Smith.
We're coming from the same type of thing, but you're slightly older to me, and I fucking hate my older brother. So I do. Honestly, I kind of look up to you, Jack. And so I'm looking for you to kind of be like the Rock and to kind of.
Smith, I'm there for you if you allow it. And here, brother, as is God. If you
We got
allow
Flo in here. Throw some low blows, bud. Give
Smith,
me a
I haven't said
haymaker.
anything yet, but I'm about to.
you know what? And Smith, this is being done out of love and respect. You've already admitted and shared that you are not of clear mind. Okay. You're obviously you have some feelings and emotions that you're working through. Life is bringing you challenges and you are making choices. So, Smith, no reason to allow you to continue to create disruptions and evidence of your patterns. I'm available when you want to change. You asked me if you said, you're a life coach, I'm here. Yeah. When you want to change, I'm here to offer you all the support, inspiration, encouragement, but you're never going to change as long as you're fighting to be right in your blame. And that's what you're offering, brother, is blame. Welcome, Flo. Good to see you, brother.
Thank you. It's an early day on the booze train today.
It's, it's not even 5 o'clock here. You're right.
Well,
I mean,
this is not the first stop.
oh, yeah. I don't know. This life, it is what it is. This the title of the stream, Growing Patience. That is what I've been learning. But you know what? I believe our Creator. I believe the Creator. I believe love is gracious. Love is patient, right? And
Is love indulgent?
what do you mean by indulgent? That's a good question.
I mean, if somebody is, just to make up a hypothetical situation, if somebody has an attention problem that piggybacks around their alcohol, should you indulge them by giving them more attention, which is really the root of the problem, probably?
Actually, yes and no. I know exactly what you're talking. I think I know what you're talking about with indulging. I call that enabling. And no, we should not be enabling poor behaviors. What I do understand, though, about that disease of addiction, it's a number of factors, but through typically it's through unresolved memories is obviously what it's from, and then choosing the patterns of the habit. But to overcome the addiction, we've got to change ourselves. We've got to heal the patterns that are driving us to do that. And it's from isolation. We feel separated from others. And then because we feel separated, we don't trust others. We've been betrayed, and we're always looking for excuses not to trust. And then guess what? You end up alone. So I've offered fellowship, personal time offline with Smith because I care. I'm not looking for a fucking client or anyone to feed my ego as a sponsor or anything like that. I care. I want to help. I really do. But God allows each day. We get to choose what we want to do, and then we do it. That's what I've figured out. And you know, so if you can accept life is that simple, the day is created for you and you get to do what you want. Yes, the future takes planning, and yes, you've got to make efforts to have the future you want. But when I wake up in the day, I don't know what I'm going to learn that day. I don't know what I'm going to say that day. None of us do. So who the fuck are we walking around so arrogant like we know everything about everybody? That's crazy, man. That tells me, I used to say the world is crazy, you know, and then I'm blaming the creator. Who the fuck am I to second guess the creator and the creation? I'm crazy for believing the things that I used to.
I tend to assume that everything is just how it's supposed to be, and I just don't have the perspective on it.
That's a brilliant way to be. That humility, that's a strength. A lot of people can't
I think
accept
this is
that they
the first time I've ever been complimented for my humility.
Those probably are rare for you. Those compliments. I see it. Well, it's humility to the truth. That's what I see. And that's all our ego is an arrogance that places us above, places our mindset. We say, no, this can't be. I don't know. The thing about time, though, that's the mystery that I'm enraptured with these days. Focusing on just the mystery of life, getting lost in these moments, seriously. Guys, if you can believe this, hey, feel free to jump in. I don't want to. The thought that I'm withholding right now.
That's what we're all waiting for.
I know. It's the probability. It's a logical conclusion that there is a divine force, a loving expression that brings forth the energy and information for us to perceive through consciousness. We're living at an amazing time. This is the point. I truly believe this new world that I've imagined, a world where knowledge is shared freely, love is abundant because life is nurtured, cared for, and respected. And I kind of think heaven on earth it's available. I'm getting the thumbs down from Smith because many Christians have been taught to believe that no, the world's going to head to destruction. Everyone's going to bow to someone else and it's going to be worse than it has been ever. Dude, if you're afraid of the future, you're going to feel hopeless. And if you feel hopeless, then you feel like nothing matters. And if nothing matters, next thing you know, you're through a fucking half gallon on an afternoon. Talking about you, Smith. Right behind your back, in front of your face.
I think there is a message in you know Thessalonians and other places that kind of tells us to kind of live a quiet life, like a workaday existence, and not worry when the end of the world is going to be, because no man really knows the coming or the hour of the time, so to actually dwell on these things, or is really to disregard the grace that's available to us in nature, because we don't have to create a better world. As you said, solutions are available, and they're in the simple things that we already have to work with. Like a lot of the things of how we run government, how we run society, how we run cities and stuff. Like that stuff doesn't need to be worked out. Like the plumbing system and stuff. Like those things are mainly taken for granted, and that's where really they slip in the control aspect of things, because people tend to take those things for granted. They don't want to be involved in those things. But if we really take responsibility or quality and control over the communities, especially on the local level, as I say, think locally and act globally, then we can really see what's going on a ground level, and actually put forward that thing, like preach to people, and if they don't listen, then wipe the dust off your feet and go to the next door. And that's a simple thing. All you need to do that is just a cloak. If you it even says, like, you don't need any belongings, in order to serve the Lord or whatever. So it's almost as if everything we need to do service to each other is already available. We don't need anything extra in order to,
All you need to service me is that mouth.
Well, we can make it happen at some point, if you're if you use kindness and grace and appreciation. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the message I'm trying to get across, that that it's not really so much about service itself, even, or just about just realizing what we already have, at our disposal. Nobody needs to make anything extra. Like nobody really has to make a new thing. Like nobody actually has to make a new thing. Like there's enough shit that people don't use that if they just give it to somebody who needs it, we'd probably have enough shit for everyone. But it just doesn't occur.
Hey, I allowed my mind to walk away a little bit. This was something I thought of earlier regarding the world and the Israel-Palestine nonsense. It's my opinion, and I don't mean to be, you know what, I'm explaining the facts as I see them, okay? I see three brilliant, caring men up here with a lifetime of experience to share, and there's a brother in the back. I don't know that he's in danger, but his mind isn't clear, though. My first thought was, should we try a conversation? Would he entertain a conversation? And actually, if Smith, if you are willing to entertain a conversation, I will end this stream right now and we can do it privately. If you guys are willing, and with or without you guys, I am. You're muted, Flo. If you're talking to us, you're muted.
I was. Do what you think is best. I don't think that Smith wants help. I think that he wants attention, and he wants to be the victim, and he wants that sort of like sad sympathy indulgence.
That's
so I guess that brings me back to my original question, which is, do you indulge people?
That is a good question. You know what? I am a man of my word, though. Smith, brother, if you are
Hey,
willing to
Thanks for having
discuss,
me back. Good evening, fellas.
What's up, Smith?
What's up,
Smith,
man?
here, I brought you back.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to be honest with my concerns. You've admitted that you're not of clear mind at this
I'm not of
moment.
clear mind. I admit that.
However,
I'm not
I
the
trust,
Talcott being.
or I trust if you're capable of having a conversation, that we can at least plant some ideas, some seeds of thought.
We can at
Perhaps.
least plant some plants in the truth community so we could deflect from the truth. I'm not saying that's you, Jack, but there's plants out there.
Smith, right now I'm offering you the opportunity to have a private conversation with me about your drinking, or perhaps, if you allow it, the care of these other gentlemen.
I got no issues with both of them. No
That's
issues.
not the question. Will you accept and will you allow a conversation about your behavior?
Yeah, isn't that why I'm up there? Isn't that why I'm here? I waited backstage for like 10
Well,
minutes. I'm sitting in the room. My
okay.
wife came home. She doesn't look like it, whatever you were trying to say last night, FS. I heard that shit. Come on, bro. She ain't
Hey,
got
what
those
did I say?
Mormon random panties or
Smith.
whatever your fucking optics of your fake deleted video was, but she's not
Smith.
that. She's got a D cup. She weighs like
Smith.
120 pounds, bro. She's
Back
banging.
to
I
now.
didn't
I'm having a hard
say.
time dealing
Smith.
with what's going on in the world. I'm new.
Again, you're making shit up. I didn't say that. It's
No,
not
but
my
that
video
stream
that
is
we're on.
deleted, and you said you had to call the
going
field
to-
office.
I
That was weird. You did.
Please.
Rage
I
quit.
did
He
that.
said, I need to call
Smith.
the field office about this
Smith.
one. That was Flo last
Smith.
night.
Hello, Smith. Back
Not
to
all
here
truth
and
is
now.
valid.
Hello, back to here and now. So please explain to me, because I asked you if you were willing to accept.
I
And
am, Jack, but let me explain
no,
myself.
you are not.
Because I saw Top G.
You are lying. I will not accept your lies that you are accepting and allowing a discussion about your behavior, because the facts support my words. Briefly, are you willing to accept a conversation about your behavior today? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, thank
Fuck you. Don't backstage me while he's sitting here making.
So thankful
Okay.
to be here.
So my intention is, Smith, if you're willing to discuss your behavior and your drinking, I do not want it as content. I will end the stream. Now, I don't want to end the stream and disrupt my intention for those who do share their time and attention if you're just going to waste my damn time. What is your intention?
Respectfully, you're saying I'm wasting your time. This is your stream. You got 58 in
Flo, I
What?
apologize about throwing you in the back while he's behaving that way.
While he's
However,
making shit up about me explicitly, like right mid lie.
okay,
Yeah.
so please correct if I know he's lying. He's fucking crazy. Most
It
egos
doesn't matter. Throw him
are
in the
out
back.
of their minds.
All right. Do what you want with your stupid fucking stream. He's not going to listen to you. He's lying about
really?
me.
Well, okay.
And-
Flo, I was trying to give him a chance to engage with the discussion of the offer. He was deflecting by the attacks on you. I didn't want his
get it.
deflection.
Whatever. I
take-
get it.
Yeah.
Just give me a
Hey,
second to smooth out.
he's- Hey, man. I love you, brother. Growing in patience. Patience first requires kind of an acceptance, perhaps. An acceptance and a grace, allowing yourself the grace to accept. Praise God, man. I said this in a chat somewhere else that someone couldn't sit at a desk and write the fucking characters of this stuff. You couldn't make this shit up. our God, our Creator, has created some hilarious, fascinating.
I mean,
characters.
Smith's problem is pretty generic. You could write that, but
He's got a good heart and a generic problem, but he's got a unique.
he's got a selfish
of
heart that he wraps up in virtue.
Here's another one. Welcome, Toilet Bowl Earth. Good to see you,
What's up,
brother.
dude?
It's a pub crawl tonight.
Hey, Smith. I don't know what you're thinking, dude. Don't be coming up here with that. If you really need to talk to somebody, this ain't the place to do it, bro. Nobody here is equipped to talk you through it. I recommend you save this for another day. Brother to brother. Okay?
When he's
Love
right,
you,
he's
buddy.
right.
Don't do it.
Hey, respect. I don't agree with the conclusions, but I encourage that advice. It's not the time nor the place. So, by his choice. And who knows?
And I'm not a fan of TVE, but I would, when he's right, he's right. And I think that he came up here with good advice and good intentions as well. So,
Flo, that's one of the things I truly do. I see, I recognize, and I truly respect and admire you about is you do try to see the truth, and you allow even asshats to be right. Not all the time, but sometimes.
well, asshats get it right occasionally.
I learned that about myself, that even an asshat like me was sometimes right. And then I started realizing I was more right than wrong. And other people didn't always know what the fuck they were saying, or I don't know. I learned that in in grade school, honestly, when because I traveled around all the time. By the time I was in a sophomore, it was my 15th time changing schools. So I had all these different teachers teaching the same subjects in different ways. And it's like, you guys don't know what the fuck is right. Holy shit, my arrogance started young.
Well, that's what arrogant. I mean, ultimately, if you look at the literature on narcissism, it's a stunted development. It's an inability to differentiate between yourself and the world. It's the we are one mindset.
It's the we are or are not.
We are one. It doesn't recognize other people as individuals. I was more taking a shot at Paul, but if the shoe fits.
Well, no, because I see the we are one is that it reduces the selfishness, but you're saying it the other way.
There's two senses in which people can mean it. There's a sort of pantheism that's sort of a primordial, in which which you could say, well, we all come from the same mold, we're all cut from the same cloth, nature, so to speak, primordial sense. But then there's a neo kind of liberal sense in which it reduces everybody to individuals, and through that and this is under the guise of universalism. In that guise, if we're all one, it goes to what Flo is saying, to a kind of reduction of what's possible in a person, kind of limiting people into individuals through the guise of universalism. But in the primordial sense in which we're all one, of course, we all come from the same, mother and father, Adam and Eve. And in that sense, we're not universal, but we are all have a unique heritage, and it's the same heritage,
The idea of division, I don't remember if I spoke about this on the stream or not. The way we become brainwashed has been conditioned into living with the analyzer, constantly analyzing, constantly trying to figure things out. that is kind of, and I think God's sitting back and is like, all right, you want to figure it out? Go ahead. You figure it out. That's what you know. You can see what you can figure out from what you know. Enjoy the process and the stress and the anxiety of trying to figure it out. And then when you can't figure it out, enjoy the frustration and the anger and the hopelessness and then the shame for not being able to figure it out. All of that shit is fun. That's what the world profits on, is the analyzer and living in planning and defining and fighting for what we think. It's the analyzer is good for the body. It's what keeps us alive, right? Keeps us fed and, figure out what we got to do to keep alive. But we're more than just the body. We are that spirit. We are beyond the analyzer. The old saying, the devil's in the details, right? It's in all the massive details. What brings forth life? What makes someone do something? Dude, there can be like an infinite amount of details and variables involved in what happens in an event. Getting lost in the details is where we get confused. The details do bring clarity to the meaning, but if we can detach to the concepts, right, within our mind, look at the information from an objective view, beyond all the definitions and all the judgment and labels of whatever information we know, if we can detach and see the greater meaning, the concept, what does that all mean to you? Because that's the only place the meaning matters, is within yourself. So we want to make sure that whatever meanings we find in the events, in the information we experience, whatever we find, we want to make sure it's true. And I tell you what, if love is not included, ask more questions. Find other perspectives to consider. I love you guys for your patience. But it brings back to that God of love. The loving God that wants us to grow, the God that is here to serve us, that has served forth the world for us. That God of love, there's nothing better than serving love. When you have your love received by another, when your value is accepted and gratefully received by others, man, that love it's priceless. You can be going through weeks and months of darkness and despair. Oh, budgets and I can't pay this and blah, 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 poor me. And then, man, a little glimpse of love comes into your life. Holy shit. Your life is transformed. And that's what I figured out. What I assumed, what I choose to accept within myself is that the God of love is our creator. I mean, our words are limited, perhaps, in description. And love certainly is not the limitations to the description. But what is love? Love is honest. Love is revealing. Love is light. Love is the expression that brings us forth joy, happiness, knowledge, experience. Love is why we live. And we only live right now. So love now. Always love now. Right? Plan for the future nows. Think about the future nows. Live in the future nows as though it is now.
That's why I turned my cam off so I could masturbate.
Thank you, Flo.
Thanks
Some
for
humor
the
is
inspiration.
needed. That is inspiration. Oh my God. People never seem to cease to amuse me anymore. You know what? Seriously, looking at this world, looking at the world, it's really easy to cry. It's really easy to get angry. You can even find reasons to feel hopeless, feel afraid, feel whatever you want. But there's also plenty of reasons to feel good, to feel hopeful. And in a great part, here's where Brother Smith is going to have to come to responsibility. We got to accept responsibility for the choices that we make, for the lives we're living, for the world that we're sharing. I mean, not to bring a real somber mood, but when are we going to... Here's the follow-up question. When will the people in quote-unquote safety bring their attention towards helping those in danger? And how much safety do you need before you can offer help or extend help towards those? And it's not just danger, but in need, in suffering. And this is the question I had to overcome for myself with all my labels and my opinions.
I feel like there's a word missing out of this sentence.
Which
who?
one?
Where's the who? Those. Oh, about those that are okay. People not like us, not people who. Never mind. I'm just retarded. You're good.
No, you're not retarded. I could have
Chuck,
worded
I'm
it.
sorry, not Chuck. Chuck's awesome. Rob G is retarded. That's
okay.
I was just getting all things confused.
I could have worded it more clearly as well. The idea, can you care about those who are different? Can you care about those who are unlike you? Maybe even those who might seem to oppose you. Can you care about those? It feels better when you can. Flo, it feels better when you can.
I'm sort of an expert in things that feel good, and, and I don't think that's one of them.
Hey, Flo, there is a reason for all things, and I have been exploring inner pleasures for quite a while. So perhaps there's an opportunity for you to broaden your experience. I thought I knew a lot of things in the past too. Turned out I'm just a child, man. I'm just trying to figure it all out. And I'm so naive and foolish. I think we can change this world. I really do. I'm actually convinced we're going to. I don't know how yet, though. But I'm confident. Not to share too much about me, but I never really enjoyed housekeeping, and so clutter is not. Clutter can easily become an abundance for me, but started doing some. I saw myself, and I got some housekeeping done.
Housekeeping?
Well, it's in preparation of my son's return. I'm feeling an energy of optimism again that he's going to return soon.
Well, no matter what, decluttering your physical space has a positive impact on a lot of things. It's a constant battle for me because I'm really good at acquiring stuff, but not great at getting rid of it. So periodically, I have to just like go through and start thinning things out.
Me too. And that's actually, you know what? I love that conversation because that's another thought I had earlier about letting go of the past. Start, renew, restart, regroup, revalue, go through and re-inventory. What do I need? What do I care about? And
But then every time you can give something its own individual consideration, it's like, well, maybe I'll find the thing that this screw goes to, and I'll need it then.
dude, I got boxes of that crap. Things and this is after I decluttered a lot of stuff. I still ended up with a lot of, what if I need that?
But then sometimes the things that I would have thrown away, like this fucking chalice, my girlfriend turns into an ashtray, and it's awesome. It's like, oh, sweet. I'm glad I didn't catch that before you did.
It's beautiful, man. Yeah. Hey, HMFIC, you're right there too. Repair.
Behemoth says it's best to rid yourself of all worldly possessions, start a new rebuild. It's good for the soul. I don't know. I did that once. I didn't, not voluntarily. Maybe that's the problem. I'm still a little salty about having to forfeit everything I own to the sheriff so I don't go to prison, but whatever.
Dude, I bet there is something there in that experience. But and I don't know that I agree with that either. I've mentally and emotionally gone through that. I was in a position where houselessness was a very real probability in my future. So I was prepared for it. And I am prepared. I'm prepared to walk away from everything I've got if it leads to better.
Smith is always so needy. Maybe he can show that it works both ways. And if you lose the house, you can go stay at Smith's for a while.
Dude, he can't even put up with me, or we can't even put up with each other for minutes at a time, separated. Although, you know what? I do believe it face to face. There's a total different energy, total different behavior. I don't know.
I just wanted to tell Chuck that I would sell his butt pussy all over the yard if we were in prison together. I'm responding to a comment. It didn't just come out of nowhere.
No, it was provoked. And yep, fair enough. I don't know. I have no intentions of
selling Chuck's butt pussy. Me neither. But if you want it, memberships are only $1. Chuck's butt pussy is only $5.
Oh wow! I'll go with the membership. I promote the membership. Share that idea.
You know what? I promote it too. It doesn't make as much noise.
I have this thought, and I don't know.
Well, let's have it.
Well, I don't want to go to gossip, and I don't know, and I don't want to, but I also don't want to just completely ignore the reality that we've been sharing.
Well, come on. I gotta take my daughter to a friend's house, so let's.
Well, the old Polly boy story. I said I went there today. Peace, new beginnings every time, trying to figure out what he's going to be. And he says, go away and don't return. Well, what is the result of that? I honor his wishes, and guess what? He continues with this pattern, and God bless him. His path, I wish him the most ultimate in success, but he's got an echo chamber around him. The people who see him for what he's doing are pushing away from him. So if he's he's building walls so that he doesn't learn about his behavior. This is foolishness.
But people have the right to make foolish decisions.
All right. You are right. Well, and this is what I was advised not to go to even try with him. I think everyone has given up faith on him, and I've been persistent and generous with my faith, but I tried. He refused. I tried. So my conscience is clean.
Your conscience, from lack of, you have nothing to be worried about being judged for lack of trying. Now, too much trying, I can judge you there. Right.
The enable, but I'm trying not to enable him. I mean,
well, you're enabling yourself, I think.
I probably have been enabling him.
Yeah. People don't change unless they want to. And even then, like, people only change within certain margins. I think that, and what you need to have, like, the sort of change that would shake you out of sort of a extreme selfishness is not one that we can give to another person without seriously overstepping our rights.
I'm not sure that I agree.
I think you have to have a trauma experience to grow out of that.
See, that's the mindset Paul has. That's why he's so aggressive and rude and insulting.
No, that's how he justifies being aggressive and rude. Right.
He does what he believes.
No, he does what he wants. He does not believe that he's helping people. I don't believe that at all.
Damn it, Flo. You are a great contrarian.
Well, I mean,
no, actually, you are very good at keeping me accurate. Thank you. I don't want to exaggerate or misspeak, but I trust people can learn. I was blessed in my own experience to have kind of a high level rock bottom. My life didn't crumble when I was drinking. It fell apart after I stopped. So I don't know, man. Praise God. Today has been a beautiful, joyful day of inspiration for myself. Like I said, I got a bunch of tasks done. I had some renewed inspirations, thoughts, trying to figure things out for the future, but I'm learning to trust. Go ahead, Phil.
Oh no, I was about to ask a question about something in the chat, and then I answered I figured it out.
Gotcha.
I am about to take my daughter to a friend's house. It's not far away, so I won't be going. I'm gonna just cam down. But if you want the space or don't want me, however, feel free to kick me out. But
I'm actually, I may not continue too long.
It's because you saw Joe Cool in the comments, isn't it?
Oh shit, is Joe Cool here? Yeah, it's about time to wrap up. That was funny, man. I think don't judge me. I think you're right. Paul's trying to save me, and I'm trying to save Paul.
All right, I'm about to leave because I can't obviously walk away without coming back to unmute myself. I don't think that you guys are trying to save each other so much as impose your worldview on the other one. If you asked me for my perspective on it, so
okay, wait, please. I love that. I would agree he's trying to impose, but I'm trying to offer. I'm not trying to.
I mean, the stubbornness looks like an imposition. Yeah. Now, I will definitely give you that the worldview you're trying to put on him is a much more altruistic one than what he's trying to put on you. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's sort of like you're a contender in ways that I think that you try to suppress, that I think is a good thing. I think it's good to be able to lock horns and to have ambition and stuff. So I don't know that you would agree with me that those are good things, but you've got some of that moxie. So anyways, I'm out of here before you guys distract me any longer.
All right, Flo. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Welcome back, Jesse.
Hi.
Blessings. And Joe, you are welcome. I was actually joking about shutting down because you're here. Okay, you are a welcome friend. You know that. Although I was about to shut down, but Jesse, welcome, and Machine Lies, brother. Feel free to impart whatever wisdom you're feeling guided. I'm going to step away for just a moment, though. Okay.
Sounds good. What's up, Machine Lies?
Nothing much. Just seeing some comments there in the chat about the past and all that type of stuff. I think leaving the past behind is one way to do things, but I, for one, I feel pressed to take everything that I've experienced with me, and I may be wrong in doing that, but I feel a great sense in which if we don't know where we're coming from, we don't know where we're going. And there's great wisdom to be found in the past, and I think the future is uncertain. I think the future is non-existent, really, because we're creating it as we speak, to a certain extent. And also, I think God can change the future. The universe has a way of course correcting. If we believe that God is omnipotent, he's free to change the future. Of course, he has a general plan, and people talk about the general plan, and people are more or less certain about it, but ultimately, they fit whatever they need to kind of finagle the story how they want it to go. So it really doesn't matter. Every ideology has its own pseudo eschatology, and I think futurism is it's collective anxiety. You know what I mean? But there is a sense in which where we came from, the primordial sense in which we came from is unbreakable. We came from something that is legendary.
Infinite.
Yeah, infinite. Yes, I wanted to say that, but I didn't. I just didn't. I thought it was going to be too profound, so I just. Yeah, you said it for me.
And when you said, you're not sure if that's wrong in thinking that, it's not wrong because it works for you. And what works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody. Some people have to leave the past in order to live in the now and look towards the future, and that works for them. Not everything works for everybody the same is, my thoughts on that.
Yeah, and I appreciate Behemoth because that's actually who I was responding to, and I think it's either he or she, and she says or he says, we need to know our past in order to better our future. Yes, and in ourselves and in general, albeit history is what we have been told. So it's whatever you want to take from it, but destined to repeat. That's right.
And again, I know you're a big history buff. I know, you got a great memory. You've researched and detailed in a lot. I just have a hard time with the history that has been taught because a lot of it doesn't seem, real. And they even teach in their Freemason indoctrination camps, they call schools, that the victor rewrites history every time a new empire comes into place. And how many empires have they taught have come into place over the last, say, 2,000 years? So how many times has the books have been burnt, rewritten into their favor? So, when you say we got to learn from the past, which past though, right? You guess you take what seems in alignment with you, but, none of it may be true, right? The last 200 years, some people don't even believe the Civil War actually took place. And that's just another introduction. They're like, well, where's all the bodies? If there's that many, where did they bury all the bodies? Where's all the graves if the Civil War was real? So people even question the Civil War happening.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, even history, like you said, those people wrote the history, and then it's like we have to figure out what's their history. Like just start with the history of the Freemasons, and then start with, and then narrow in there. But yeah, I think Jack was gonna say something.
There's a lot of mystery to the past. That is a certain. And there's a lot of mystery to the present. So we've got to ask ourselves, what does that mean to me? I've seen a lot of people on these communities who are expressing absolute distrust, so much just distrust and rejection, they won't even consider information if it's associated with a different name. And it's like everyone's got all these fucking opinions about who they will even listen to rather than trying to receive the information that's being brought into their life.
I think a lot of that has to go with being able to push people's buttons. So if they know how to push people's buttons, whether they accept it or not, they'll continue on the narrative because they know it can trigger people. So I think that that's a lot of that is going on because people get off on triggering others. So, you know, if you're easily triggered, when someone gets off on triggering somebody, what's going to get them to stop, you know, triggering the person if they, you know, something that, you know, they get pleasure or whatever out of.
Yes. There's people who have developed these characters where they create content by triggering people. Or, I mean, that's kind of what the media is. Broadcasting.
Exactly what the media is. They want to trigger people's emotions, and then people do the exact same thing what the media does. They just become the internet media, the new meta media, and, you know, call themselves, you know, whatever, truthers or whatever it is, but they're just doing the exact same thing, perpetuating that division, and that's not what we need, especially during this pivotal time.
Amen.
But people play into it, right? If you get triggered by it, it just gives them the fuel to keep going on it. And it's hard because when you're the brunt of it, you know, it doesn't feel good. But then that takes a lot of looking inward to make sure that you know that people are just doing that because it's their issue, not yours.
It's hard to recognize. I've been doing a better job, I think.
You have. You got a lot more triggered earlier. Like you've definitely evolved over the last months. You know, you've gotten a lot better.
Thank you for seeing that. I have been conscious of my behavior, and I've been working to improve it. And what I've learned is that it's real easy for the energies of someone else to be felt within ourselves. And then all of us, you know, you're in a good mood. All of a sudden, someone's rage is thrown in your face, and all of a sudden you're filled with rage. It's like, where the fuck that come from? Well, just because it comes into us, those feelings, doesn't mean it has to be, we have to accept it or allow it to move us. And I've allowed myself to drop down to Paul's energy, other people's energy, yelling and screaming at people.
I think Jesse mentioned two tools there that are being employed on the populace, and one is subversion and the other is subterfuge. And I think both are they lead to their own kind of self-deceptive behavior in a way, because subversion creates monsters that it can't really fight, so it just kind of leaves them there, and then they kind of grow like abscesses. And ultimately a person who practices subversion is not really caring about the outcome of the subversion anyways. Their thing is just to distract, so they're not looking for any specific outcome from the thing. So that's important to note. And in subterfuge, all forms of subterfuge are kind of, a pussification of the spirit, so to speak, a kind of a lack of ability to actually face up to, what you want in the world or to try to realize it. So you seek this sort of subterfuge as a response. And that's what it is, that ultimately subterfuge and subversion are no response. They're only reactions, so they really dwell on the surface level of things.
Can you explain what subterfuge means, in case people don't know what that means?
It's like pushing away things that you don't understand, like how Jesse was talking about,
Rejecting it without even trying to comprehend it.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
I mean, you could have just said that. I mean, that's a little bit more helpful. It sounds like it sounds like something in a submarine when you say something like that.
Right. What I was trying to do is try to condense the ideas. It might seem difficult for somebody like you to comprehend, but I like to condense
it's like, it wasn't an attack on you.
into more provoking
concepts. An attack on you.
So I could try to help define them for the people. You don't have to speak over me. I'm just trying to tell you what my purpose was there.
It wasn't supposed to be an attack on you. Why did you take it there?
I'm not saying it was. I was just trying to explain my purpose there. But I see that you feel like I'm responding to you personally.
Here,
it's okay.
Please. I
honestly didn't know what subterfuge meant.
And I honestly just explained it to you. So.
Okay. Please
breathe.
Yes, please. I don't believe offense was intended. And actually, after the discussion and clarification, I was grateful the question was asked. And brother, your vocabulary and your expression of truth, while very accurate, it can be hard to follow sometimes. So that's where you grow in.
Yeah, you got to dumb it down for us lowly plebs, okay?
No, please,
thank you.
Stop.
Well, I just think that it was a useful terminology in terms of you can boil down all sorts of maniac behavior in terms of people trying to derail conversations and trying to get a I guess what it really is in a fallacy sense, we talk about poisoning the well of the conversation, so that comes before. It's kind of a psychological manipulation that's not really to lead to something, so I'm just pointing out that instead of taking 20 minutes to explain that we could just say, well, it's subversion. Subversion.
Now, my man, you're throwing so many big words at me. All right, because I don't understand them.
My man, just shut the fuck up so we can talk,
guys,
my man.
Both of you, I love you guys deeply. I know you can share space together. I know you can understand each other. I know definitely. You can even enjoy each other.
I understand this guy a lot.
I love you, brothers.
I like this guy a lot. And that's why I always have him on my show.
Oh, bullshit!
What are you talking about?
Timeout King.
What are you talking about?
Stop.
Gets hours on my show.
Hey, there was a point here though about the subversive nature of what has been happening in the world, the manipulation. Okay, people's minds have been conditioned. We've been conditioned to believe in this. It's a manufactured. There's a construct in most people. There's a construct within them of who they think they are. Okay. That construct is not real. That construct is what wants to die. I didn't realize it until afterwards, right? When I wanted to die, what that was my ego saying it's time to change. Physically, I didn't want to die. I love living. I mean, I wouldn't admit it, but guys, that ego, the power of the mind, the words we use, the words we choose what we allow in our minds. And if we allow a lot of negativity and a lot of division to consume us, dude, that's not how we're supposed to live.
programming makes a lot of people, afraid to die, which, that makes them, not really truly living. And when, that's kind of the backwards nature of this matrix.
I mean, division is good in some regard, right? You got to have standards and boundaries, right?
Says, well, all
In a
standards and
chaotic world,
boundaries.
in a chaotic, destructive, where there are people that are actively trying to destroy, yeah, of course.
When people are selfish, there must be boundaries and stuff. But all these boundaries and rules are all made up by us anyway. So we shouldn't be so focused on enforcing the rules on each other. We can work on helping each other through correction, education. Hey, what you said, Jesse, many people have been conditioned with fear of death, which results in them not living, right? Well, the same thing about being wrong. So many people, because we live in this world of reward and punishment, people have memories of punishment and fear. And this was my experience. I was so afraid of being wrong, I rarely allowed myself to be right. Right? And without that reassurance and acceptance that I'm right, I am all right. I am okay. A lot of people I don't know, I think some people go through their lives without accepting how good they are, their divinity.
Well, what do you think about? I mean, what do you think about atheism? I think don't you think atheism is a damaging thing? I mean, that's a very popular worldview. Don't you think that's a damaging thing? Because I mean, these people think they just live and that's it. So if you think you just live and that's it, I mean, that opens you up to a lot of disturbing behaviors, a lot of selfish and greedy behaviors like you talk about.
That could be said about any beliefs, whether it's atheist or
No, I don't think so.
Extreme religion. I mean, these beliefs are excuses. We can't.
However dogmatic a religion can be, at least in some regard, the believer understands that there's consequences to their actions. The atheist, there is none. Ultimately, to the logical conclusion of their worldview.
Wait,
that's just pretty much false right off the bat, because Satanists believe in
right.
Like occultists believe.
Why would an atheist care about?
Hold on.
Well, atheists don't believe in God, but Satanists do.
How about this?
All right, Satanists believe in God.
Yeah,
hold on.
They definitely
I'm not. Guys, hello.
Believe in God.
I'm not going to allow just arguments on the side to develop like
no worries.
Okay.
Machine Lies defending atheists in 4K, y'all. Caught in 4K.
CBE, hey, brother, I want to address your you are inaccurate. Okay. How many I mean, under what you just said, are you claiming there are no believers who have raised their hand in allegiance and alliance, the willingness to murder?
I'm not speaking
no
about
believers do that.
Believers.
No believers. You want to focus on
atheists. I'm not speaking about the works of apparent believers. I'm talking about the worldview in itself and what that logical conclusion
seems like you're
leads
trying to find blame. You're trying to find blame instead of perhaps bringing understanding or receiving understanding.
I'm being very plain spoken here. I'm being very plain spoken
now, Jack.
I'm being very plain spoken here, Jack. Why would an atheist care about what they do in this life? Why? There's no consequence to them.
TBE, I love you, my brother. Let's come into this present moment. Okay?
I'm here, man. I'm right here with you, brother.
What I'm trying to understand is, just because you thought of atheists, why has the conversation changed to only atheists? I mean, I'm not even sure. Is there an atheist up here?
I just brought it up just so we can talk about it. I didn't know it was such a touchy subject. I'm
Well,
sorry.
it's not touchy, but if you want to bring it up, let's bring it
You
out.
want to be back in control? Go
Why?
ahead, man. I'll shut up for a while.
Let's bring it to relevance to the 4 people here. Okay. I know we are making content, and I don't mean to be nitpicky, but I think there's something worked out here. I trust God brings my experience the way it does so that we can figure out what's going on. And what I've noticed in the patterns of people, especially online, we come up and we say things without really thinking the thoughts through. What is the relevance? So obviously there's a relevance of atheists to you. It appears to me that you hold a judgment towards those who have not accepted God. Is that true? Or
Absolutely.
maybe
Yes, I do. Because
so you stand behind
their
your-
worldview is not logically, I mean, morally it's inconsistent. They have no justification. So what they do, according to you
Wait.
and all the ills of the world.
Okay, before you continue with the narrative, you reached a conclusion without building any foundation. So what facts are you
I built the
relying
foundation on my own. Do you need me to do
What
it here live for you?
On his
on?
own.
Facts matter more than opinions. So we understand, and I guess this is where Sarah's.
Okay, we can get to facts. Okay, so what's morality to an atheist?
I'm not an
Why do
atheist.
they
I
care about
cannot
what's right
answer.
or wrong, and how do they justify it?
How do you claim to know yourself? You're condemning. So what is it you believe an atheist stands for with morals? You think they have none? Have you asked an atheist these questions?
Yes, I have. They can't justify it. It becomes relativism and becomes preference of results.
I get that from a lot of Christians.
Oh,
I've gotten that from
here we
you
go.
specifically. Actually, I've seen that in you specifically. So
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the justification of moral behavior, and atheists don't have an answer to it.
Brother, what I'm trying to get to be honest and clear, is what is justifying your behavior? What is it that is bringing you forth? What's the justification?
Okay, so why are we derailing it into another a tangential topic now? Now we're talking about my behavior. What does that have to do with this?
You can't understand how your behavior has to do with the experience that you're sharing right now?
No, because we're talking about atheism and moral behavior.
But we were not.
That's why I was trying to stay on topic.
Right.
If we want to go to something else, that's fine.
TBE,
there really is no answer there. But go ahead.
Okay, but TBE, we actually, I know this is an open panel, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, but
I'd like to respond.
Please.
So can you repeat what you said there, Toilet Bowl Earth, when we started this all?
I'm sorry. What? Go ahead.
It
kind of got muffled there. Go ahead.
Can you repeat? What you said that started this all?
Well, I just mentioned Jack. I asked him. I was like, well, what about atheists? Do you think that worldview is damaging? Does that worldview not sort of part of the ills of the world, like he speaks about, all the greed and all the control and whatnot? Don't you think that has a part in that? How that's so popular on society, how that has effect on lifestyles and how people go ahead. I'm sorry.
Personally, from all the atheists that I've met, I don't see that. They're good, moral people. They just choose not to believe in God because most of them have had some really bad experiences with religion or things that have happened. They've tried to pray for things that didn't come true. And so they choose to, actively say, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in that higher power, but it doesn't change their moralistic behavior and how they react to the world. They're not shitty people from what I've seen and experienced. And so this is kind of, labeling
Okay,
people. Go ahead.
Okay, my argument wasn't atheists or shitty people. I'm saying their worldview, they can't justify morality. That's what I was saying. Why do they do the things they do? They can't justify it. So if your worldview is I live and die and that's it, that opens the gates to, okay, I can do whatever I want, right? Because there's no consequence to my actions.
I mean, if somebody is a good person, doesn't matter how they justify their morality.
Are you?
That's two separate things.
There you go. Yeah.
Being talked, justifying good and evil, and I just happen to be good, or I just happen to be evil.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Those are two different things. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So what are you talking about?
Well,
what you're claiming doesn't matter.
Well, I'm trying to actually understand. Are you in this description? I think I get with the atheist, the rejection of the spiritual nature of life. Is that more equated with the materialistic mindset? Because the materialistic mindset, I won't blame that on atheists. There's plenty of Christians with that delusion of worshiping the economics and the politics. But I'm not making the connection, TBE. And maybe that was part of the confusion earlier, is I just didn't understand what you were getting at as far as the focus on the atheists. We do have a problem in what you're saying, that people have lost sight of morality. Is that maybe the point you were getting at? Is that we've lost sight of morality? And that the atheists...
I mean, it wasn't a big deal. I was just saying that atheists really have no way to ground their moral foundation. And that leads, worldviews leads to lifestyles. So if I'm a person that firmly believes that God doesn't exist and there is no consequence in this life, what does it say? That I can lie, steal, cheat, murder, and it doesn't matter because I'm just going to die and that's it.
Dude,
that's all I was saying.
It's not say that. I've heard Christians say that. Well, I found Jesus, so I'm saved, And then I've actually had Christians, they want me to basically excuse their behavior and enable their behavior by conforming to their beliefs. Jack, you need to say that you accept Jesus as your savior just like me. I don't want to be like you, dude. You're a fucking liar. You're a contradiction. I honor the example and the teachings from Yeshua. I worship the Father as was described and recorded. And it is the God of many names, but today I identify it as the God of love, God of mercy.
And if you talk about, say, Catholicism, and I saw someone put that, into the comments there. So, where is their morals when they can go and do all kinds of shitty behavior and just come on Sunday, say a few Hail Marys, tell the priest, pay a little bit of tithe and continue on with that shitty behavior? Where do they have that morality that's going to be punished in the afterlife when they know their sins have been absolved so they can continue on being dirtbags just because they go to church on Sunday, pay a little money and say a few Hail Marys?
Wowie. Quite a Reddit take there, Jesse. Are you being serious?
Well, which parts did you disagree with?
Do you think that's what the Christian faith espouses?
I didn't say Christian, I said Catholics. This is what practices
is that
Catholicism.
What Catholic theology espouses? That's what you can do to get to heaven.
Do you see the kind of behavior that comes out of the Catholics?
Oh, so you're judging the believers, but not the faith. So what are we doing here?
Not sure what your question is.
It's
So
history.
So you're conflating what the believers do with what the faith is what the faith teaches. That's what you're doing. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm seeing
Nobody in the
behavior.
Catholic Church or the Orthodox Church or even a Protestant church thinks that that's true. That you pay your tithes and that's it. No, that's a very childish way of looking at it. But go ahead.
So there's good and bad people in every single faith, color, religion, and there's people that take it to the extreme. Most of the Catholics that I know
And that's
are
not what
good
we were
people,
talking about.
But I'm trying to explain something. So most Catholics that I know, just like most Christians that I know, just like most Muslims that I know, most atheists that I know, they're all good people. There are the ones, the extremists that the atheist extremists that don't give a fuck because they don't have no consequence. So they'll, take that behavior to the extreme. There's, the Muslim fanatics that will take that behavior to the extreme. And there's the same thing with the Christians, right? Just because you have a different belief than somebody else, it doesn't mean that your morals are just gone out the window and you're just a dirtbag. You're a dirtbag because you're a dirtbag, not because of what you believe in, whether you believe in God or not. It's the shitty behavior that needs to be condemned, not the faith or the religion or the lack of.
Okay,
Jesse,
what's your point? Who are you arguing with? I don't get it.
Well,
TB.
You just wanted to grandstand for a second? Okay.
No, TB.
No, he's wrong. Yeah. TB, can I say something, Jack, real quick? TB, in the Islamic religion.
I don't care about the Islamic religion.
Shut the fuck up for 1 second. Shut the fuck up for 1 second. Hear me out, because you're way off the chart.
I don't care about your pedophile prophet religion.
All right, no problem. So, atheists are not going to hell. They don't get judged that way, even in that situation. So stop assuming.
Wait. What did you say?
Atheists
don't go to hell?
No, they don't. In Islam, they get judged on their dudes on this earth, in this world.
So it's a work.
If they do a good dude, there's no hell or heaven for them. So wake up, go fucking.
It's a works-based religion. Okay.
Yeah, just like in James, faith without works is dead.
Yeah. So learn. I mean, you're just babbling here, dude. I don't even know how Jack is giving you that much time. Sorry, Jack.
Read the Bible. You're talking shit.
Faith without works is dead. Listen to what you just said.
That's in the Bible.
Slow it down. Faith, it requires faith, number one, and works. Do you understand?
That's right.
That
and works, you numbnuts.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, we're not comparing Christianity to Islam here. Islam is a works-based religion, as your
I'm not even talking about the religion anymore. I'm talking about what God will judge. You're not the judge. God can only judge in any religion. You can take the Torah, Islam. It doesn't matter what religion you take. Like Jesse was saying, there's always an extremist on either side. Don't judge. Those people are just extremists. The religion or the book, the scripture doesn't say that. So you're way off.
Well, I really grow bored of listening to Christians describe with contempt the way that other religions believe without actually exploring or understanding. And we're going to take a break from the energies of TV. Welcome, Flo. Good to see you, brother. Welcome back.
Thank you.
What's hard for me is when people decide and think that they can put God, creator, source, energy into a box just because some certain teaching says, and if you don't follow my teaching, then you're all evil and wrong, and you're, that's as fucked up as it can get. Even Yeshua said that there is no middleman. Everyone has the right to have a direct connection to source, whichever way you believe, have taught, and you're allowed to have that. And so when people judge others for not believing the same way as them. They're just doing the exact divisive tactics that's keeping people away from each other and causing all the conflicts in the world. And they think that they're justified because my religion told me so, but they're the ones that are causing the problems here on earth. And they believe in their heart that they're, honorable in doing it, but it's inverted what they're doing, and they're causing the chaos, conflict, and division that causes the world problems to have what we have.
I agree.
Toilet Bowl Earth, I love you, my friend, and so the audience is. I mean, as the scrolling thing says, be civil and respectful. Your words reveal your character. This is backstage, but Toilet Bowl Earth, you're projecting. He says, you're a clown, Jack. Shake my head. Good luck with the cupcake session. So welcome, cupcakes. I fucking love cupcakes.
I love them too.
They're so sweet.
I don't know what you guys were salting your beef about earlier, but it's cupcake time.
Angela's daughter just made cupcakes for my birthday yesterday. Gluten-free, dairy-free, amazing cupcakes. I love cupcakes.
Oh, dude.
You seem like a cupcake type.
You guys,
puffy cheeks.
Hey, you just brought up new inspirations. I may shut this down because that vegan bakery is shutting.
My God,
vegan bakery.
There's nothing on earth I can think of that would sound gayer than that.
Dude, they
even gay stuff, including gay stuff.
Dude, they have the most amazing cupcakes and no-bake cookies. The best. Just my favorite thing to do is I get some cupcakes from the vegan bakery or cookies, and then I wander down the street watching the social life, smoke a little pot, fucking enjoy.
Me and Chuck don't believe that those are the best. No.
Did someone say cupcakes?
It's the cupcake man himself. Here's the thing.
On that note, I'll leave, Jack. Have fun. I'll see you later on Machine Lies.
Amen. Blessing.
Yep.
Thank you.
Anything that's qualified as being vegan, it's not a good marketing thing for me. It doesn't appeal to me. It's like, it's expensive and tastes like shit and is pretentious.
No, I'm telling you, growing up in the early 80s, my stepfather was vegan. We were completely plant-based and natural, and it sucked. Part of that was mom never learned how to cook very well, but I didn't know that then. When I went plant-based in 2018, dude, there are so many options. There's so many amazing recipes and stuff that people have come up with. I do not miss the chemicals and processed crap.
You don't think that plant-based is chemical-based?
Not as much. There is. Hey, I'm not promoting like that Impossible Burger or crap like that. I'm not talking about that. Sorry.
Joe Cool agrees vegan bakery sounds soft.
But it depends on what. And, the stuff that's like gluten-free, dairy-free stuff has come a long way. Angeline's daughter's an amazing baker. When I was in Mexico here at the buffet, they had the cakes and things. And they also had a gluten-free one. And I've been eating a lot of gluten-free, dairy-free because that's, Angeline is having that. So that's been introducing to my diet. And I went and I had the ones that were gluten-free. And there was actually some of the gluten-free were even better than the ones that had the dairy and the wheat and stuff like that. So that stuff has come a long way, but I don't align with vegan. Like they won't even have honey, right? Because it's made from a bee. I stopped eating meat, almost 7 years ago now. I don't call myself a vegetarian. I would never call myself a vegan. I just say I stopped eating meat, right? I would never call myself a vegan because honey, like, come on, you can't have honey? Like, I think that's, not really, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
honey, I have called myself vegan out of just laziness because I don't like getting into the details and all that. It's plant based. That is what I am.
Your back chat is amusing right now. I just clicked over. Two drunk, hostile bullshitters who both claim they're running around. You know, between Toilet Bowl Earth and Smith and Tommy, I can't imagine who could represent Christianity better than these gentlemen.
Oh my heavens!
If you don't want to commit now, what would ever convince you to commit? Or to convert?
I know a few that can rival them. So,
amen. Actually,
I am the salt of the earth, right? It's extra salty.
I am ready to shut it down. Whoops. Yep. Life coach won't let me talk. Smith, you should be grateful. And I told you, in the future, you're going to look back on your days of drinking and you're going to be like, what the fuck was I doing? You know, I did that. I'm trying to. I am helping you, even though you may not appreciate it right now. I
just have to be ready. He just has to be ready. That's the biggest thing, right? People can talk, people can say, well, yeah, I'm ready, but you have to be ready. And once you're ready, then you can take the steps to make that commitment, right? I drank for 20 plus years and I haven't drank for 10 now. And, you know, when I decided to stop drinking, I just decided that was it. I didn't have to go to any of these meetings. I made the conscious decision. I had enough and I wanted better for myself and made that decision. I got paid to drink for many of those 20 years, paid to actually get hammered and stuff. So it wasn't, you know, obviously the easiest decision, but it was the best decision and one of the best decisions I ever made in my life because all these other decisions followed through good decisions that have made me a better person because I was able to stop drinking.
Amen. There is life after that and it feels better. And I'm going to blame. I'm not going to blame. I'm going to narrate. Okay, so I wanted to shut down, but we continued going.
Now you can't. Now you cannot.
The cupcakes are going to have to be another day there, Jack.
Yeah, you're going to have to wait on those vegan whatever they are.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, too many meat eaters on the panel.
Too many meat eaters?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, what I was going to just...
I don't refer to myself that way either. Just for...
In about 20 minutes, our friend HMFIC of Steve will be going live and starting his panel.
Which one is Steve? Is that the cat who was Steve? I hate a cat who always saying racist shit to me, man.
No.
Is that him? No, Steve is the guy. Okay, I remember Steve. Yeah, he's got like the
goatee and the tats and the...
There you go. Thank you. All right, thank you.
He used to go by
Smith. That's what I'm thinking. Smith.
Smith is backstage. Smith. Oh, here's Smith.
All right.
That's who you meant.
Right. Who was just
you just showed him to him real quick?
That was Smith. He was just popping to show you who's in the backstage right now, but he put him back again.
Who had the atheist argument that was up here a while ago?
Toilet Bowl Earth.
All right. I would like to say he had a good argument. I would have killed it, but he could have presented a better argument. It was that atheists don't believe in God, therefore they must be bad. There's a line of reason there, but obviously it's false because every atheist I know wants to do as much good as Christians. However, if you're some type of, I don't know, if you believe that God represents a good truth, then if you believe a person doesn't know God, they can't know good and truth. So there is a line in both argument in both directions.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
That's the whole, like, you have to have a religion or a belief to have morals is an interesting one because it does hold water until unless you treat the decision. Ultimately, you're making the decision to have your own morals or the decision to choose somebody else's. Either way, you're still making the decision. It comes back to that.
I think so. And after you debate that, there's a better argument. is morality chasing God? Is the atheist, he just don't know that he know God because perhaps God is good. So it's a good argument to have all around.
All right, Joe, I see it. And there is a foundation to that logic. Okay, what you just laid out, Joe, you found the truth in what he said. What I didn't agree with was the focus for the purpose of play, trying to narrow that those that don't think like me are the world problem, and that's what I saw happening.
Yeah, I couldn't argue that.
I have an interesting question about atheism that I'd like to know, have your guys' opinion on. So for me, I think that in order to be an atheist, you need to comprehend what God is and choose not to be a part of it or believe in it. I think a true atheist, if you were to ask them, hey, do you believe in God or a creator or something that created? I have no idea, would be more of an answer opposed to saying,
yes, I agree.
I'm an atheist, because you have to, think about the concept of God in order to choose to say, no, I don't believe in a God, but yet you have to have that comprehension of it to actually have it.
That's why Machine Lies had a good point. He was the first guy to counter that argument. He said, no, Satanists actually believe in what you're talking about, not atheists. That was a good point. Right. They believe in, they're anti whatever. Atheists are not necessarily anti God.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Smith, you're not truth.
Yeah, like it's like you wouldn't have an organization about like somebody said, like it's like having an organization of people who don't want to golf or something like that. It's like, why would you form a not organization to say you're not a part of something? Like it's kind of inane,
Hey,
you guys believe that? Like what I feel about that concept? You guys are in alignment with that?
Jack, were you?
Wait, tell me again what you feel, because you said something when I was in chat trying to let the show go, because I thought if I hopped up here, Devin Jack would have killed it, and I think I was right, motherfucker. As long as I didn't come up here, this show was gonna last. But how do you feel about it, Jesse?
Well, Jack, what were you? Jack, I know you were going to say something here.
Go ahead. I do love to wrap up.
He laughing at my shit.
Just about, an atheist, to say you're an atheist, is actually, comprehending the concept of God and then just choosing to not believe in it for whatever reason is, opposed to a true person that wasn't a believer would just say, I have no idea. Can't even comprehend that because that's not, in my scope.
I'm not sure I see the difference of the two people you just named there.
Well, it's coming to the conclusion without knowing versus having an actual idea of and rejecting. I'm not an atheist. I haven't delved into it enough, I guess. I thought they just a lot of atheists have talked to, though, but they believe there's some type of intelligence or something, just not God or whatever they see, but they believe there may be something out there, but they'll say it's not God. I assume it's because they think God is a certain thing, and that's not what I believe in. So no, I don't believe in God. I assume that, but I need to talk to more atheists.
Most atheists that I've talked to are really good people. They just, for whatever reason, have some problems with religion, and because of that religion, whatever it was, they choose now not to believe or say they call themselves an atheist because they don't want to associate with any of these perverted religions that have completely destroyed the credibility for God to them because of whatever reasons, whatever it is that happened to them.
That's what I think a lot of it is as well. Yeah. You're gonna have me talking to a bunch of atheists after this shit, Jesse. I'm gonna have to know now.
I've been to the atheist community. Actually, I used to dabble around in that community for quite a decent amount on YouTube here, and I was very I was struck by how dogmatic it was. And how
I would have assumed it was not dogmatic, and it was just dogmatic. A bunch of people who didn't like golf.
Nope, there's a similar culture, a political perspective, right? They're all super liberal. all
got
very
you.
much pro the science,
Very
anti.
good.
I mean, I think that, and I was struck by the fact that I think most of these people, especially the more devoted atheists, are quite religious, not only in that atheism is religion, which it is, but also in that they do
This is
believe
interesting.
actually in Christian God. I think most of them, and they're mad at him.
Oh.
Okay. Hey, perfect point to end. We're going to end with some suspense. Joe, Flo, thank you, my friends. I truly do appreciate all of you. Jesse, Machine Lies, God bless. Thank you, brother. And I did bring this up. Where is it? I dropped the link earlier. There it is. For those who wish to continue some panel conversations, our friend HMFIC of Steve will be starting up about 10 minutes, I think. So, brothers and sisters, I genuinely want to thank all of you who joined tonight here on the panel, here in the chat, maybe at a later time of now. We covered a lot, and genuinely, thank you all who have joined. I hope to continue this. I hope to continue this adventure. We covered a lot of topics today with patience and some relationships, religions, beliefs, and surrender. I want to remind you guys as we part, brothers and sisters, there is peace available within you. Beyond the problems, beyond the opinions, beyond the regret, beyond the feelings, beyond all that, beyond the realm of right and wrong is peace. And there's a knowing of that which is without judgment, just with acceptance. And that acceptance, that peace, it is found right now within you, without resistance, without conflict. It's a matter of determination, of choice, of valuing you, valuing your life, your experience, valuing your future memories more than your opinions. Simple as that. Surrender to the peace that is right now. Find gratitude and love for that which is, because that which is you. That's all you are, is you. And it's always now. It's always you until it's not. Brothers and sisters, until the next now, where I hope you may join again, I pray you find peace, discover love, multiply in your blessings. Brothers and sisters, thank you again. Choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless, and thank you again.